Vikings sign offensive lineman Bobby Evans. They have been busy boys today. All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar, and you're probably sick of my face, but damn it, the Vikings have been very, very busy today. They've officially filled the last open spot on their roster. Bobby Evans, I should say, welcome back to the Minnesota Vikings. Before we get into that, remember, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this, we're going to be hot and heavy Vikings every damn day, multiple times a day, and especially heading into training camp. This is when the fun begins. Bobby Evans, he's here. He is here, and if I say welcome back, it means he's been here because the Vikings signed him to their practice squad in January. Rams cut him, I want to say it was like December 31st, December 30th somewhere. Vikings snapped him up immediately. He came to the practice squad. Being on the practice squad when the season ended, he was free to go wherever. He's been a free agent. I know he had a couple looksies. I know the Broncos took a look at him. Didn't sign anywhere. He just had a tryout or a workout with the Vikings yesterday, and they said, we got to have him. The second interior offensive lineman the Vikings have signed today. We just did a video on Jack Snyder. So Bobby Evans continuing to add depth at a position that the Vikings definitely need, because as of now, especially with Chris Reed going on the non-football injury list, they don't have much shaken at guard. So Bobby Evans comes back to the Vikings, very familiar with a lot of our coaching staff being a former Ram, former third-round pick. Bobby Evans, 6'4", 312, has started 12 games in his career out of 35. Fair to say that he was a bust with the Rams, but still only 26 years old. It's going to be interesting to see how things shake out with old Bobby because, he was signed to the practice squad, didn't get much of a chance to really get out there. Now he gets, I shouldn't say a full offseason, but he's going to get a full training camp, a full preseason with the Minnesota Vikings so they can get a much longer look at him. I mean, coming out of Oklahoma, he was an offensive tackle. They knew they were going to move him inside. He has played a lot of right tackle, right guard, left. He's pretty much played everywhere but center. And, I don't want to be overly negative. He hasn't had a very, very good go at it. When he was drafted, third round was about where he should have went. So it's not like they overdrafted him. He just had a tough time adjusting to the NFL. I mean, even last year, his PFF scores, his pass blocking was 16.4. I honestly have never seen anything that low. And that was majority at left guard. So overall, he was a 29.8. Previous seasons, not as bad. Nothing overly fantastic, but appears to be a better pass blocker than run blocker. Very powerful offensive lineman, which we like inside. So Ed Ingram, Ezra Cleveland, they're going to be our starting guards. Bobby Evans is going to come in and just compete for potentially one of those backup spots, especially if Evans is out. We got Allen Ali, but guard, as we know, is very, very thin. So I'm not going to argue the position. I'm not going to argue the player. He's the 90th guy on the roster. The pipe dream of signing a guy like Dalton Risner, we all knew it wasn't going to happen. We knew they were just going to be filling this back roster. I'm glad. I like the position. That's all I'll say. Rooting for Bobby Evans. I want to see him out there go and whoop a little ass. Worst case scenario, he's on the practice squad, a guy you can bring up in an emergency where he can play multiple spots along the offensive line. So there you have it. Our roster is officially set for now. I fully anticipate some more moves. But Bobby, let's go, baby. Let's rip shit up.